What if support wasn't something you had to earn? Because sometimes the people carrying the most are receiving the least. We adapt, we figure things out, we continue our journey, keep going on the path that we are on until carrying everything alone begins to feel normal. But Sacred Bridge asks a different question. What would change if you allowed yourself to be supported too? And this is the sacred season of inner home. This is where we are learning how to create stability without sacrificing the softness from within, to build a life that supports you as much as you support everyone else. Okay, so I spent time reflecting on the energies of the season. I pulled a few messages here for the collective. I'll share that in a little bit. These messages were around inner tension, new foundations that we may be building right now. Of course, with effort, with consciousness, and there's a little bit of learning how to trust what is beginning to unfold for us, for you, for the collective in general, right? Hi, by the way, my name's Anastasia. I'm the creator of Soulescence and the Six Master Keys of Transformation, a soulful and symbolic framework designed to help you better understand the seasons of growth, change, and transformation that shape all of our lives. Let's explore what the Sacred Bridge may be revealing for you at this time. So, like I said, we're going to start off with the Five of Wands, which I did not expect to get as I was reflecting this week. And this is about, for me, it felt like a little bit of conflict and immediately came to me as a conflict with other people around you. But I feel like it's not so much outer conflict with the people, physical people, like a physical contact or conflict, I meant to say, but more like internal conflict. You know that feeling of being pulled in multiple directions at once? You know, that tension between what you need and what others need, the tension between rest, responsibility, maybe the tension between caring for yourself and caring for everyone else. And I've been noticing lately how many people are trying to hold multiple realities at the same time. The version of life you've outgrown and the version of life you are trying to create. And sometimes that creates this friction, not because you're doing something wrong, but because something has to change or actually is already changing. I feel like the reflection here is that I would ask you and the collective of where are you feeling this tension between maybe what you have always done and what you now need. What is the season? What this season is revealing to you is very important. And remember that the discomfort you're feeling may not be a problem to solve. It may be a bridge you're learning how to cross, hence the sacred bridge. All right, so this is the dance that we are kind of looking through at this time. The Page of Pentacles comes in next. This is the second message for the collective that comes through right now. And this feels like it's reminding all of us that every meaningful foundation begins small. It could be a choice, it could be a decision, it could be some sort of ritual practice, maybe even a boundary that you have to uphold to nurture your inner foundation. It also could be a conversation. Conversations can start very small, right? I think sometimes we underestimate the power of small changes because they don't immediately transform everything and we don't immediately see the results. But Sacred Bridge, this is the season. It's not about dramatic breakthroughs. It's about instead creating stability one intentional step at a time. And perhaps the foundation you're building right now doesn't need to be perfect. It just simply needs to begin. You need to begin with that little small step towards building that foundation. What small step would help you feel more supported this week? What this season may be revealing for you is that life may be built through smaller choices than you realize. Okay. All right, we're going to go to a message number 3. Eight of Pentacles is what's showing up next. This is the third collective message that came through for the poll that I did earlier. And this is about devotion. It's about devotion and not so much perfection, where we avoid starting things because we're afraid it's not perfect. Instead, this is about devoting yourself to the things that you feel may not be totally perfect, but your effort and your small your focus towards putting the energy towards what you're growing is what actually matters. Your willingness to continue showing up for something that matters, including yourself, because many of us have become incredibly skilled showing up for the responsibilities, for the work, for our family, for our children, for the commitments that we've made. But Sacred Bridge often asks, are you showing up for yourself with the same consistency? Because emotional safety isn't created overnight. It's built through smaller ways we honor ourselves again and again and again. Where are you building this, or where are you being invited to invest more intentionally in yourself? And I feel like what this season may be revealing is the relationship you're building with yourself deserves the same care you are devoting to others or elsewhere. And these are beautiful collective messages. And I feel like what I'm most excited about is this next one, the fourth one, which is the Fool. And I kind of smiled a little bit about it, is because, it's after all the reflections, all the rebuilding, all the planning that we usually do towards building, of course, our foundations, we begin seeing a new path, or perhaps we um, hope to see a new path. And so there is a new path that's emerging for you right now, a new chapter, a new opportunity. And that opportunity can actually be very supportive right now. But perhaps the support is what allows us to take the next step, even when we don't see that we have the support. Maybe you feel like you're not supported right now. Maybe you feel like you don't have enough resources. But it's you remembering that you have just the right amount of support to begin and to invest into something that nourishes you, that supports you. It could be people around you. It could be, maybe you don't have enough resources, but maybe it's your faith that you can tap into that can be very supportive right now for you. And what new beginning is asking for your trust right now? I feel like what this season may be revealing for you is the next chapter may not require certainty, but it does require your willingness to try, willingness to see how far you have arrived. And maybe you do have certain skill sets and resources necessary to begin something anew. All right. So I feel like, as I look through all these four collective messages, a common thread begins to emerge. The Five of Wands asks us to acknowledge the tension we're navigating right now. The Page of Pentacles reminds us that meaningful change often begins with one smaller step. Eight of Pentacles asks us to devote the same care to ourselves that give to everything else, or the way that we give to others, to also give that care to ourselves. And the Fool is, the trust our path, and that there's a beginning that's unfolding even though we don't see it. And perhaps that is what the Sacred Bridge is all about and what it's revealing to us. This is the sacred bridge season, the duality between Cancer and Capricorn, learning how to bridge our inner stability with our outer. If our inner stability is not strong or firm enough, then we can't build our outer world unless we are secure from within. And this is also about staying soft enough to feel what's going on within us, the emotions, to feel into what is arising within us. So we can grow richer, we can grow more abundantly, and, allow our foundations to be strong enough to carry us forward towards this new path. Okay. And yeah, these are beautiful, by the way. And remember that you don't need to carry everything, of course, on your own, right? So give me one sec. Let me transition to another segment of this stream because I wanted to give you a little bit of insight on something that I've been working on. And I want to tell you a little bit about the bundle. Okay. This is the bundle. These are available on my shop, something you can tangibly tangibly order to, you know, unlock yourself at home. So basically, this is a bundle that you can order and unlock within your own space and time. This is something that you can tangibly uh, mm, open for yourself to unlock the sacred bridge energy. And these are individually packed. I made only a few of these, and within it has specific energetically infused crystals, as well as a practice and something magical within each of these bundles. This happens to be the Sacred Bridge bundle that you can order on my shop. But I also wanted to tell you a little bit of why I chose the tree, why I chose the tree as one of the symbols for this. Okay. And, when I was making them, I chose the tree because there was something lush about that. And the tree, everything has a meaning, right, to you, because when you go through certain experiences, you accumulate some sort of a meaning to for symbols or to symbols. And for some reason, I kept returning to the tree because a tree doesn't become strong because it reaches higher. It becomes strong because its roots grow deeper. And when I remembered that, or when I heard that, when I learned that, that resonated with the sacred bridge because, the deeper we go within our inner foundations, within our roots, the more abundant we can grow, more abundantly, like this tree can grow, which also symbolically we can grow in our lives or lives live, um, where our foundations become more richer and our outer foundations or outer growth depends on how deeply we're connected to our roots. Roots could be our emotions, roots could be our ancestors, roots could be our inner memories, just kind of getting in touch with your inner essence, your inner soul's calling. And to me, this is what the Sacred Bridge is all about, that can support your growth. Learning that support isn't weakness, allowing yourself to feel rooted within yourself before reaching for what's next on your journey. And the deeper the roots go, the more sustainable I feel like the growth is for you. And that's why I chose the tree as one of the symbols of the season. As you move through this week ahead, I invite you to sit with a simple question. What roots are supporting you right now? And if this reflection resonates, leave a tree emoji in the comments. And over the next few days, I'll intuitively select a few of you and share a short message or reflection for those who feel called to participate. So, and before we close, which of today's messages resonated with you? Was it the Five of Wands? Was it the Page of Pentacles? Was it the Eight? Wait, yeah, Eight of Pentacles. For some reason, I kind of got them confused. I was like, eight page. Or was it the Fool? Where where are you on your journey? What type of experience are you having as you may be navigating your own transformation? Perhaps Secret Bridge is one of the seasons you're going through. The season of connecting to your inner realm, your inner emotions, your softness. So you can feel more secure from within to build firmer foundations. So notice this is the dance between softness and firmness. And feel free to leave in the comments which one of these messages resonated with you. I love hearing what is unfolding for you, by the way. And so, if today's reflections resonated, I invite you to continue exploring your seasons or the season you're currently moving through right now. You can discover your season of transformation on soulescence.com, or more information will be in the description. And with that, I wish you best of luck as you're navigating this journey of unlocking your soul's magic. So, actually, before we go, I do want to see if there's anything else that wants to speak. So I paused for a second. No, we're good. All right, my friends, we're good. I had to pause for a second because I felt like something had to come through. But with that, no, we're all good. But before we go, actually, since the ending kind of was a little bit of choppy, the ending was definitely a little bit choppy because I was like, this does anything like I feel like something else needs to come through, but it's not. All right, so listen, I feel like the purpose of these reflections isn't to give you all the answers. I feel like it's to help you better understand the season you're moving through so you can navigate it with greater awareness, greater self trust, a greater maybe flow. Because when we understand the season that we're in, we begin to finding ourselves traveling back to our inner essence, to helping ourselves unlock the magic from within. And so, with that, until next time, take good care of yourself, my friends. We'll speak soon. Bye.